A very beautiful Friday afternoon from wherever you're watching. This is Jalango TV and this is Bonga Najalas. Coming live from Miale 72 in Lavington. One of the best restaurants in the 254, located straight at the Covenant Drive. And this is one place that anybody comes, walks in and says, you know what, we have the best of all the best. Good place, privacy, pali ya kukula, chakula tamu, everything here at Miale. It doesn't get better than this because you asked for her and she is here with me. The Mavericks herself. I don't know if I've said the word really. Okay, the Mavericks.
Maverick.
The Maverick.
Yes.
The Maverick. Okay, Aoko is here with us. Forget about Maverick or no, Aoko is here. So since Aoko is here, I saw everybody on Facebook saying that, oh, the last utawezana na kizungu ya Aoko nini. Sanitize.
Thank you.
Wacha nifanye kizungu na kazi ambayo najua. Wow. You have haters and lovers in the same proportion.
In equal measure.
In equal measure. So it's not same proportion.
You're still right.
I'm still right. Very good. Why is that, by the way?
I don't know. Most of my haters are women. And I think generally women are what are described as emotional hemophiliacs. They bleed emotionally at the slightest provocation. Mm-hmm. But still, truth has to be told. Someone has to burst their bubbles.
Burst their bubbles. Yes. Is anyone here with the current Oxford English Dictionary? So that anything Aoko will say that will pass me, I will have to confirm. But then, of course, yes, you are eloquent in English and the Queen's language, and you have a great command. Connie, who is Aoko? Where have you been? And just take us through this journey before we get into the hate and into a few questions that I want you and your opinion in a few things. Who is Aoko?
My name is Scoffin Aoko Otieno.
Okay.
That is my name as given by my parents.
All right.
And as outlined in my legal documents. Mm-hmm. But recently, I decided to ghettoize the name Scoffin and remain with Aoko Otieno for two key reasons. Mm-hmm. Number one, in the realm of literature, there's what we call nom de guerre. Nom de guerre is the name you assume when you're going for combat. There's also what we call nom de plume. Nom de plume is your pen name. And as a writer, that's my pen name. So when I was going into the battle against what I call the myopia, that is gender feminism, I felt like Aoko Otieno gels with what I intended to do. And the second reason why I annexed Scoffin to remain with Aoko Otieno is because I believe I am an authentic African woman who believes in her roots, her culture, her tradition, her community. And so as a Luo woman, as an African woman, I can explain what Aoko means. I can explain what Otieno means. I do not know what Scoffin means. Okay. That does not mean in any way that it's a name that I have thrown under the propeller of disapproval. It's a name that I still want. Okay. It's a name that I still answer to. Mm-hmm. It's only that moving forward, who I am now and who I intend to be plays more with the name Aoko Otieno. Okay. That is with regards to my name.
That's just your name. That's just your name. That is explanation. We are still just in the name, not even who she is. So she disregarded Scoffin because she can't explain what Scoffin is. Yes. Aoko is easily understandable to her, and even Otieno. Yes. And Aoko would be a child who was born outside. But
not outside as in illegitimate, but outside probably, probably the mother was out tilling, farming from the river.
Yes. Yes. By the roadside. Yes. In the farm.
Yes.
Oh, good. Yes. You must have been born in the classroom. Or in a school compound.
I take that as a compliment.
Please accept my compliment. Otieno is your dad's name or husband's name?
My dad's name.
Oh, dad's name.
Yes.
Otieno being born in the night.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good.
I'm also a writer, having been trained in the craft of writing from the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, the big KIMC. All right. That has churned the likes of Linus Kaikai before it became the so-called semi-autonomous. Those days when KMC was KMC. Mm-hmm. I'll also describe myself as a pragmatic person, a realist, as pragmatic as they come. I'm also a lover of life, laughter. I am fascinated by books and knowledge, and I also love liquor. So let me say why I am very proud as a woman. You know, most women are not audacious enough to say they love alcohol.
All right.
Yeah. I'm audacious enough to say I'm a lover of liquor because, Jalango, when you look at the best thinkers, when you're talking about the contemporary society or the society of yore, they were not teetotalers. I can give you examples. Socrates.
No, any example you'll give, I might not understand, but for others, just give.
You're talking about Socrates. Socrates was a philosopher in the ancient Greek. He loved to imbibe. We are talking about Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin was one of the founders of the US, of America. Actually, there's a quote attributed to him where he says, beer is evidence that God loves us because he wants us to be happy. We are talking about Karl Marx. Anyone who's talked into classroom knows Karl Marx, the father of socialism. Karl Marx actually co-chaired a tavern at his hometown. A tavern is a bar of those days.
Yes.
You're talking about Winston Churchill, the greatest PM that UK has ever known. Used to take alcohol. Those are gentlemen. And then a lady, the famous lady that I would quote is the matriarch Queen Elizabeth, the mother of the current Queen Elizabeth II, right, the monarch of England of today. She used to take alcohol, so that is why I say some of the best thinkers are those who have dalliance with alcohol, and I take my whiskey neat.
Wow, you take it neat.
Yes.
So can I order for you maybe a double?
Yes, of
whatever you
Black Label.
Black Label is
yes,
good for you.
Yes.
Johnny Walker, please, may you please order something, or we will imbibe later. Yes. So that maybe I cannot lose my train of thoughts in the eloquence that you're already portraying, so that this interview Aoko Nyathiwa, today is the day. Now Aoko, let me ask you. Now that is you.
There's the name you called Maverick.
Okay.
Many people have misconstrued and assumed that Maverick is my name. Maverick is a moniker. It simply means somebody who neither suffers rules or fools. Somebody who is a nonconformist. Somebody who rebels against status quo.
Okay.
Yes.
So you are rebelling against status quo.
Yes.
And what is this status quo?
Status quo simply means things as they are.
Okay.
I am not comfortable with things as they are.
Okay.
I want to challenge the school of thought that has made, especially women, too comfortable. Yes.
Wow. You've challenged a lot of things. You've challenged a lot of things. Why do you hate women?
Oh, goodness. I saw that question coming. Jalango, I do not hate my current generation of women.
Okay.
There's a difference between detesting and I say I excoriate my current generation of women. To excoriate is to criticize, and to criticize sharply.
All right.
Number one, many of the women say it's actually my language, too harsh on them. I'll tell them it's basically free speech and free expression. From where I sit, free speech is the mechanism that drives a functioning society. And I'll quote two scholars, Stella Nyanzi. I believe you know Stella Nyanzi of Uganda. She says, my free expression is not negotiable with anyone. I say things as I see them, not as you want me to say it. Okay. There's also one of the most renowned modern psychologists, that is Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, who says, to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. So in the process of thinking and sharing my thoughts, I become offensive, which means being offensive is a salient feature of a free thinker or free thinking. Yes, so I do not take responsibility for how somebody interprets what I say. I take responsibility only for what I say and how I say it. How somebody interprets it, denote it, connotate it, that is their cup of latte to sip. That is not my business. But like I mentioned, I rabble-rouse women more because the current generation of women, like I've said, they are, emotional hemophiliacs. They easily bleed emotionally at the slightest provocation, because emancipation and the whoos and cries that come with women empowerment has made women into some bubble, has put women into some bubble. So some of us, like Aoko, who have refused or have removed themselves from that cocoon and are able to, confront issues using logic, using intellect, using insight, make them uncomfortable. Because women generally do not like discomfort, whether you're talking about intellectual discomfort, whether you're talking about physical discomfort. But at the end of the day, I feel compelled to tell them the truth, to tell the women of my generation the truth, so that to elevate them and to make them resilient and to make them reach to the epoch that they aspire to, whether in terms of politics, business, corporate, intellect, or otherwise.
Wow. So where did you go to school?
I did my primary. I started my primary at Gatina Primary. I was born and raised in Nairobi, Kawangware.
Okay.
I did my early primary in Gatina Primary School. And then I did my KCP home, upcountry, Nyakwere Primary School. Passed with flying colors, and was actually the only female from my zone who got a calling letter to join Nyakach. But unfortunately, I did not even last 1 month in Nyakach Girls. I got expelled because I boxed a prefect. She was trying to bully me. So after I did my KCSE in 2010 in Nyongonga Secondary School. That is why I tell people it has got nothing to do with where you did your secondary school. Actually, I did my secondary school in a place where at night, during the day it will be a laboratory, during the night we'll convert it to a dormitory.
Okay.
Yes. And then I got my B. I missed the cutoff point to join university through JAB with 1 point. So I went for a diploma at the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, where I did my journalism, and I majored in print. So between 2015, I graduated in 2014 from KMC. Then in 2015, I was lucky enough to be a correspondent with the Standard newspaper. So I was a correspondent between 2015 and 2017. And I also saw a columnist. I earned a column with the Nairobian. We used to share page 17 with Silence Nechwani of the Nairobian. So currently, actually, I am pursuing my BA, my undergrad at the University of Nairobi. I'm double majoring political science and peace and conflict studies, still underway.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that is your academic realm.
Yes. But I have every intention of expounding it and making sure I become a professor.
A professor.
Yes.
Wow. Then all of a sudden,
yes,
this woman who nobody knew,
yes,
is a topic of the day every single day in the social media and social media spaces. All right. Which is this first one tweet that rattled almost everyone, that got everybody to know you?
There's this, I hear she's a comedian who was on Dr. Kingori's show, and she said something about expecting 4 million worth of dowry. And I was like, why is it that modern women have objectified themselves, have made themselves available to the highest bidder? Because when you're putting a tag in monetary terms on your worth, then you're like a good that somebody goes to the market and haggles over the price.
That is what our parents made us know throughout.
Yes, dowry is not bad.
Yes.
Dowry is not bad, but dowry was not a measure of financial muscle. It was a way of bringing the families together and a bond of some sort. But you find in the modern nuances, in the contemporary context, dowry has been made like, I don't know how to put it well, but from where I sit, it's made women to be objectified and commodified, especially if the woman herself say that if you do not have this amount of money, if you do not have this amount of wealth, then we cannot get married. Then that means you're quantifying your value based on how much a man is able to offer on your head. Yes.
So what was the tweet?
I cannot remember exactly how I put it, but it was in that context, like, why is it that modern women, how do you want, like, that amount of money on your dowry when most of you modern women, all you bring to the table in marriage nowadays is attitude and weaves. And that's the truth.
But you're having weave.
No, this is not a weave.
This is a what?
This is braids.
You've never put on a weave?
I have.
Why would you condemn what you use?
It's not condemning, it's stating facts. Facts doesn't care about feelings. And even if I put on a weave, then of course I'm bringing some value. But in most instances, what most women bring is just skills in flipping that weave.
Skills in flipping the weaves. What are you bringing on the table? What are you bringing? This that you've pushed your parents or pushed your boyfriend that you must have this amount of money before you step into my parents' house to ask my hands in marriage or for marriage?
In marriage.
In marriage. In marriage. Aoko, I'll be lying if I would say that, you know what, I'm in a position to maybe challenge you intellectually or be able to put out my questions to you in a way that maybe the way you're talking to me. But the truth is, you come out very, very strong against women, even in the slightest issues. You have a take. In a slight issue, you have an opinion in everything. You know, you can't be like that. That in everything you have an opinion.
What do you mean in everything I have an opinion? And what is so wrong with being an opinionated person?
Vera the other day told me that she used 2 million shillings to for her boobs implant. What's your opinion in that?
Why is it that you don't want me to have an opinion, yet you're asking me for my opinion?
You always have an opinion in everything. What would be your opinion in that?
Do I start from what I think of the so-called socialites, or do I just focus?
Socialites. Starts with socialites.
There's no difference. And this is the solemn opinion of Aoko Otieno. Let it not be put on Jalang or anyone. From where I sit as Aoko Otieno, there's no difference between socialites, slay queens, and women who are sponsored and Koinange prostitutes. The only difference is where they ply their route. Those women stand on Koinange Street. These other ones have packaged themselves and made social media their new brothel. And as women, when you're talking about being victims of patriarchy, we cannot objectify ourselves and make ourselves some objects who do not have value other than what they carry in their bum or their chest, and then want to share the cake of the society and opportunities with men, and then turn around and blame patriarchy and men for everything that is going on wrong with our lives. This generation of women, that is why I say I excoriate my generation of women. I do not detest them because I am a woman. I look at the generation that gave us the likes of Martha Karua, the likes of Phoebe Asio, the likes of Wangari Maathai. And then I look at this generation that just wants to be so comfortable that whatever they can bring on the table is their sexual, sex appeal. And it worries me, it baffles me, it confounds me, it riles me. And I feel the onus is on me to speak out. And on the issue of Vera, I say some of these things they waste so much money on, they are transient. Their value will not last long. That is why they have to keep going back to the surgeon's blade every now and then. But I wish women will take this amount of, resources and time to build from the neck up. Focus on talent. Focus on acumen. Focus on equity. Things that will carry you even when your beauty fades. That is my issue with women. And if somebody could, and well, that is her money, but From where I sit, I think she needed a brain transplant more than a boobs implant.
Sanitize. Sanitize.
Hey.
Hey. Hey. Hey. Okay. Hey. 2,326 people watching already.
Thank you.
And we are just starting. Let me read a few comments. Acumen Acuity, Joseph Mungai, Rudi Shule. Solomon Waweru mkuu amenena. Kisungu tupu, Alex Brana anasema namna hiyo. Thaddeus Id Kiplima anasema we sanitize kwanza. Let me see. Hey. This is hey. I can't even. People, I think people, this is what I was talking about. The love and the hate at the same time. But you think that this boy child that maybe you are fighting for, is it in a space to lift up the girl child?
From the face value, it will seem like I am hailing masculinity, and I do not dispute that. I do not refute that. But if you scratch deeper, if people would, especially women, would eschew being rudimentary, if there would be, you know, a little bit deep in their thought process, they will see that actually the person that I'm trying to empower and speak for and lift are the women. When I tell you that as a woman, you have, when I say, for example, usilipewe fare, usilipiwe fare or something, and I'm trying to tell you that as a woman, go out there and work for your money, however little, Jalango. You will find that we have men who have degrees and masters, and there was a feature that was done by NTV, I guess, the other day about men who have masters and PhDs but are at the Mijengo sites, are pushing carts, are doing border business. But the moment a woman probably wants some negligible diploma, she's so educated to soil her hands. She doesn't want to hawk. She doesn't want to do hard labor because now she feels then she needs to get a man because she's too school. She now needs a man to get her out of financial misery. And if we engulf ourselves with this kind of mentality, then men are still going to rule. Men are still going to lead. Men are still going to be in charge. Men are still going to, be the ones to who have voice in politics, who have voice in business, who have voice in the corporate, who have voice in academia. Yes.
Do you think that in our current generation, the way that it's set up, do you think we have any other Wangari Maathai coming up? Do we have another Martha Karua? Do we have another Thatcher?
Aoko is coming up. Yes. And I do not
how
want...
How many of you guys?
That's exactly what I want to say. I do not want to be the only one. That's why I am pushing these women that we can be more. If that past generation gave us those astute women, and those were the days when women had real issues facing them. Those are the days when women faced real bottlenecks, Jalango. Right now, women have opportunities to go to school as men, work in any master's class, in any institution in Kenya today. You'll find that the numbers of women outweigh the number of men who are in master's and PhD. Right? So women have opportunities. There are schemes in this country today that whether you're talking about from the government angle, NGOs, and otherwise, that are willing to give women capital based on the fact that they are women. Why don't women exploit these? Why don't they exploit the avenues that are there to lift them? Instead of just being mediocre and sitting and tweeting and screeching and screaming and preaching about patriarchy and being, put down by men. How are they put down by men? If you look at the society, men suffer just as much as women. If you look at the number of street kids in Kenya today, 3/4 of them are men. If you look at those who engage in hard labor, pushing kokoteni and everything, it's the men. If you look at those who go to war, it's the men. You see, so men have challenges just as women have challenges. And I, as Aoko, have never said that women do not have challenges. I'm just saying if you're going to talk about the challenges of women, then talk about the challenges of men too and see that men have challenges. So do not blame men for everything and anything that is going wrong with your life, because the men who are at the top, who are controlling politics, who are controlling business, and it's just a negligible clique at the top. The rest of the men are suffering down here with us. So the panacea is to work together and stop vilifying men and making men feel like, you know, they're second-class citizens.
But if I love a woman, I would be able to do everything. Like most of them just show up.
Absolutely,
in marriage.
absolutely,
They show
absolutely.
up in marriage
with flipping skills.
With nothing but.
And they even have to consult YouTube to know how to boil water. That's fine. If the man feels that is what he wants to do, then it's fine. But it's not. It should not be a condition. If a man wants to give me money, I get given money by my boyfriend. But if a man wants to give a woman money, let it be out of chivalry, out of the goodness of his heart, that this is my woman, I want to treat her, I want to spoil her. But it's not a condition that you're a serial Futsubishi woman and you're telling us you only date men who drive. Well, your father owns a rickety bicycle back at home. What kind of standards are that? There's a very thin line between having standards and being silly.
No, but you have to raise your standard. You don't have to live the way your parents live.
Yes, but raise that standard on your own way. Let me if as a woman you say, for example, Jalango, you cannot take me for a date at Njuguna's, or this place is called
Miale. What? This is Miale.
I do not do Miale, I only do Kempinski. Then I, as a woman, should be able to go to Kempinski using my own resources, sit down and order later and pay with my own resources. That way I have legitimate standards that I've worked for. Maybe with my sweat. But if I cannot go to Miale, even Miale, and order a bottle of soda, but I'm laying standards.
No. If you lay standard, men of standard will reach out.
Absolutely not.
If you put yourself available to go to Miale, to go to where, to go everywhere,
they'll not look at you from a woman who has value.
Okay.
They'll look at you from a woman who, you know, some good. So they're going to do that, but they're not going to do that because they see some value in you. They're going, and even if you look at probably the men who sponsor these women, you get sponsored, but they're not going to marry you. They're going to use their resources to dig into your honey pot. You know, and you're going to spend 30 minutes that you would have spent reading a book to jumpstart an old fool just because you want to be able to afford a 30K Peruvian weave. Hey.
Jumpstarting, sanitize before we go. But these women are out there pushing the wheel in whichever little way. And there was even a big story out there that actually young women in this country are richer than young men of this country. So you know, I really don't know where you're coming from.
Where are the facts and figures? And can we look at how they are able to get this money?
No, but if you go into their social media pages everywhere,
yes,
you'd see them sell bags, you'd see them sell the weaves you're talking about.
Yes,
then
those are the kind of women that I support and laud. The women who are able to use their business acumen, their intellectual acuity, their talent to be able to work for their own money. And if you're that kind of woman, you're the kind of woman that Aoko supports. If you go to my social media pages, I have sometimes when I do free publicity for them for their businesses. Free. I do not ask anyone even for one coin. Bring your business. This is what I do. I put on my page and you get your customers.
Wow.
But when you're talking about young women making more money than men, in most instances you need to interrogate the facts and the logic and the insight behind these so-called being richer. Because a man, it's very hard for a young man. Young men are out here hustling and working hard. But young women, most of them, you know, are living in apartments that are paid by older men. We were pesa kitambo. So a woman who has a car that is bought by some sponsor now has the audacity to feel rich and feel like the men of her age are broke. So why are we lauding such kind of women as established?
You have a boyfriend.
Yes.
If this your boyfriend bought you a car,
Yes.
you understand? Okay, now before we even go into your boyfriend buying you a car,
yes,
or renting you an apartment somewhere, of course, yes, you bring much more to the table than just the honeypot, like you call it. But then the truth
and
is,
wet crack.
What is wet crack?
Let's just go on.
You've thrown me out of my trail of thoughts. You've thrown me out of my trail of thoughts. But like I was saying,
yes,
you have your boyfriend,
yes,
who is doing all this for you, all right? And
no, he's not. So unless you're giving an example, hypothetically using me, but no man is doing shit for me.
Your boyfriend ain't doing shit for you?
No.
Even your nails?
No. Wait, this is a manicure is just like 1,000 bob. If I can't do my nails, then I do not have a voice in that relationship. If a man has to do practically everything for you, and it's like, are you handicapped? If he does it because he wants it, then fine. Oh babe, hizo kuta yako like naona hapo kakona cheap, chukua aka ngiri mbili uende utengeneze kuta. Fine. But mimi nitume text babe, niaje? Wanze kuna venye, oh goodness. Si afadhali nizitoe and they remain like
what
that.
What is the last thing a man ever did to you?
The last thing a man ever did for me. That
you look back and say, you know what? This I took and got from my man.
He helped me pay for my fee.
Your current boyfriend?
No.
So somebody would pay your fee, then you dump them?
I did not dump them. This thing friend.
So he paid your school
just
fees
once. It's not like it was a continuous thing. I needed a top up.
You needed a top up?
Yes, and I paid my own fees. So a little top up is not bad.
A little top up.
Yes.
So you actually sent her. Have you ever sent a man a text like, babe, there's this dress I've seen?
I don't know. I think my ego will not allow me
to ask for
yes,
a dress.
No, my ego cannot allow me.
Babe, there's this pair of shoes I've seen. Please.
And this is a public interview. If there's a man out there that I've dated that I've asked for anything, please show up.
Even your hair?
No, that is why I do what I can afford.
Hey.
And I'm not saying, Jalango, that it is bad. I'm just saying that I want to be a woman who can have a voice in a relationship. A woman who lives within her means and who is driven and self-motivated to reach a certain level. And if a man wants to do something for me, that is fine and good, out of chivalry, like I've mentioned, out of the goodness of his heart. But I'm not going to tell you to do anything for me.
Wow. You've lived in Nairobi.
Yes.
You know Nairobi.
Yes.
Say a woman earns 50,000 Kenya shillings.
Yes.
At the end of the month.
Yes.
Would you budget it down for her and maybe an ideal place so that she could have a voice with her 50,000?
With your 50,000? Life is a journey. Life is a process. We all start somewhere. And forget all these kind of lifestyle, the envious lifestyle that you see on social media that will push you to forgo your values and your virtues and your worth as a woman. Which makes you now, you earn 50,000. You want to live in an apartment where you're paying 30, 40,000. And then now all the time you'll be in other men's DMs. Nifanyie favor. Nilikuwa nafikiria. You know, and sending nudes and all that shit. With your 50,000, get your 10K or 15K at maximum house and live there. You can afford that. And then save at least 5K every month. Make sure you save and get an insurance or a SAC or something where if from my how do I put it? From my advice, where it's deducted automatically.
A standing order.
Yes, it's deducted automatically. You say you pay your rent 10, 50k, you save your 5k, and jipange with all that, and probably get other ways. If unataka yo maisha yenye unataka and 50k ni kidogo, kuwa ka side hustle. If you're talented in writing or something, fanya these side hustles. If you unaweza uza handbag at the side to get you that money, well and good. And pole pole, you'll get where you desire.
But with this current lifestyle, don't you think social media is pushing people to a level where, you know what?
If you have low self-esteem and low self-confidence, then the lives of strangers and inconsequential non-entities is going to drive you into a life you cannot afford.
Have you been to Emara Ole Sereni at the top?
Yes, and that is why I work hard. Jalango. That is why I'm in school, and that is why I'm hustling and doing all that, so that when the time comes, then I'll be able to take myself there and sit with my double thought and say, oh God, this is the work of my intellect. This is the work of my hands, my sweat and blood and tears.
And enjoy it.
Thank you. With comfort.
With
confidence that borders hubris.
Confidence that borders hangover.
Arrogance.
Hubris. You are a Legio Maria. You are a Legio Hubris, children. Wow. How many women share the same school of thoughts that you come? How many of them? Because you see these things. Aoko, you know, you are in a fight that you might not win. Because everything that you're saying right here on this interview,
yes,
as we sit here,
yes,
is everything we see every day.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
You see a woman who, you know very well that her mom is a tailor. You understand? Her mom is a tailor. And maybe she comes from your home area.
Yes.
The dad is a farmer somewhere.
Yes.
But you see
her,
her,
a cobbler.
Or a cobbler somewhere. And you see her in the first class of all these planes, Emirates and all this. Then her age mate starts wondering, why can I not also be traveling the world? You understand? Mm-hmm. Why can I not be traveling the world? And the circle continues.
And that's why I tell you,
that is where we are. You understand?
Yes, these things are there and they happen. But I say they are transient. They are short-lived. I don't think, and if as a woman you base your worth and climbing the social cadre based on your sex appeal and all this, then it will reach a time where those will devalue. And when they are devalued and you did not invest in something that is tangible and poignant, then you'll be forgotten. But as a woman who is willing to start small and start slow and invest in their intellect and in their talent and in their legitimate business, I am telling you, those are the women that you will see 10, 30 years from now are in the front page, are being aped, are being hailed, and their stories being shared that they started from somewhere. My current generation of women are like microwave. They want instant success.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that is an anathema that I'm trying to debunk. That is why I'm screeching. For now, you can enjoy your life and do your thing. But why are you myopic? Why don't you see? Why are you seeing the now? Why don't you see that 10 years from now, what kind of woman will I be? When now my skin will not be able to hold this makeup, when now wrinkles are settling in, when now my walls will not be tight and even casuals cannot make them tight. And no man wants to go in there and pay 1 million to go in there anymore. What kind of woman will I be? 50 or 15 years from now, when I sit down as a woman and I look back at how I lived my life, will I be proud? Will I say that I'm a woman of virtues and values? Will I say that I am a woman who can sit down at the table and elucidate that, well, you cannot tell me anything because I am sitting on this table squarely with my butt because I have earned a place on this table? What kind of, I always ask this generation, what kind of society are we going to bequeath the next generation? Because the likes of Martha Karua and all that, they bequeathed us something. But us, what are we going to bequeath the next generation? What kind of society, what kind of women will they say that we were? That is number one. Number two, I look at it from the aspect of women screech every time about equality, which to me is a facade. It's fallacious. There's nothing like equality. We can never be equal. We are not equal in our anatomy. We are not equal in our aptitudes. We are not equal in our emotional intelligence. We are different human beings, and God, nature, science intended it to be like that so that there's some level of equilibrium in the society. But yes, equity is important, especially when you're talking about opportunities and all that. And women have always felt they are victims, they are vilified, they are downtrodden upon by the men and all that. But if you want to rise up as a woman and be able to have a voice in politics, in business, in academia, then what are we bringing? What conversations are we having? What kind of lifestyles are we leading? So that we are able to, unshackle ourselves from the so-called manacles of patriarchy and chauvinism that we shout every time you go on social media, men, oh, men this, men that. Well, if you want to fight, instead of just bitching and screeching, then do something that is productive, not counterproductive. And if you want to sit at the table with men and earn a place, then be more. Be more than just your butts and your boobs and your weaves and your makeup.
Be more.
Be more.
Do you have sessions where you talk to young girls or young women? Do you have a way you try to reach, or through your social media, your rants is what maybe will wake them up?
When I started amplifying my message, it was in the middle of the corona pandemic. But I intend that once the corona issue, like right now I hear the curve is being flattened, once we are able to gather and you can get a gathering, then by all means I intend to, amplify my voice and be able to get a gathering of young girls and young women and talk to them about these issues. Yes.
Wow. There's another issue that everybody has been talking about.
Yes.
Where now the boy child has been pushed to a level where they cannot get to where these women are. Because now, say, I'm dating a young girl somewhere, and the supposed be boyfriend, you understand, cannot match what I can be able to provide for this woman. So the boy child has been pushed to a level where he's also looking for ways out of this dilemma.
Yes.
Where they're starting to either date older women,
yes,
okay,
yes,
just like their counterparts,
yes,
and things like this. What's your take of say, guardian angel and the wife?
I would say when young women have set standards higher than the Burj Khalifa, standards that are, it's fallacious for me even to call them standards, they're just being dullards. That is why I say they live in some bubble and some cocoon that gives them some comfort. Then you won't blame young men when they start to angle for older women. An older woman is mature, is calm, has made her money, is established, knows what she wants, is not petty. Right? Will not sulk and because you've served them a buffet of blue tick because you're busy. So, well, in some aspect, you'll say, well, the young men, given the circumstances, given the situation of young women, the moment you tell a young woman, hi, unajua rent yangu ni 15K. Hi tu mjambiana hata majina. Hey. Naitwa Jalango. Before akwambie jina yake.
Nywele.
Hadi lunch, Glovo inaweza ni dropia hapo kapiza. Look at that. That is number one. Any grounded young man would shy away from dating a young woman for several reasons, apart from standards. You sit with a young woman today and you cannot have a tangible discourse with a young woman outside things that Edgar Obare has done or said, or what Cardi B was rapping, or who is screaming who that was trending on Twitter. You cannot have a valuable conversation with a young woman today outside the entertainmental balderdash. You cannot have a conversation about things that are happening in our country in terms of politics, economics, and all that. Not just within our country, but without our borders in the world. Because they are so inured to nonsense and gossip, and they are not driven. No grounded, established, well-circled man would want to have anything to do with some of these young
There's just enough you can talk about Cardi B.
There's more to life than
there was this case where we were just sitting down here, and this friend of ours was introducing her to us, to the girlfriend. And we were talking about how the pandemic has really affected us politically, socially. So everybody was supposed to at least
give their views.
Ilifika kwake akasema anataka kwenda kwa choo. So Aoko,
we are not aggressive enough as young women.
What is the end game of all this? What is the end game? Where are we going to get if this is the generation that we have? A generation that prides themselves on how long their weaves are, who keeping up with the Kardashian is, seated waiting for season 5.
And it's not wrong. It's not wrong to keep up with the Kardashians and all that.
But
just be an all-rounded woman.
You're keeping up with things that you can't keep up
Imagine.
with.
That is where they draw all these standards, because you want to look like Kim Kardashian and you want Kanye West to open the door for you. Now you come to a date shivering with freeze and shine, and you expect the man to remove the coat for you, and because you saw it on Alejandro. My goodness, it doesn't work like that. Come dressed properly, and if you want to freeze and shine, please come to the date armed with something warm. That's that. And I'm saying there's nothing wrong with, of course, having some knowledge and being intrigued by entertainment and things that are happening. And it shapes your mind to some extent, only if you do not allow it to influence you. But be an all-rounded woman.
Can you date a broke man?
Absolutely, because broke is relative. Like I've said, we all have different journeys. Right now, I'm broke.
No. You know the broke I'm talking about.
Please, I don't want to assume. Tell me the broke that you're talking about.
That's where you are financially embarrassed.
Jalango, if he's in a position that financially embarrasses me, but I am seeing that he's not lazy. I am seeing that he has... Number one, is he a man that has virtues and values and character? Is he a man of valor? Is he a man that, communicates, has common decency and courtesy? Those are fundamental things that gold and silver cannot replace. That is number one. Number two, is he driven? That this is where I am, but that is where I want to go. And is working towards where he wants to go. Why don't I want to be part of that process?
Journey.
Yes. Be part of that process. Be part of that journey and build each other. And I usually give an example, and of course now I'll sound like a broken record, like a cliche, but I have example. Locally, for example, Njugush and the wife, we were with them in college. And Jugush was a year ahead of us. Actually, by the time they were dating, he had even finished, but he was still lingering around the college. I will see the lady serving the food for Jugush. Jugush will even recycle a t-shirt for 3 days. Now that is the kind of financial embarrassment I think you are insinuating. When you're talking about the likes of one of the marriages that the world envy, of Barack Obama and Michelle. Michelle was already working as a lawyer in an established firm when she met Barack. Barack was a second year, first year student of law who had a rickety jalopy of a car that even the floor of the car had a dent. But Michelle saw potential. Why don't young women want to see potential? Look at their marriage right now. Is it not? And it's not like it has been smooth sailing. Michelle has said in commensurable times that they've even had to go for therapy. But it was a marriage that was based on ideals and fundamental core values that they shared and that gelled between them. And that is what I wish young men and young women will focus on in today's dating scene.
What's your kind of a man? Ideal man?
My ideal man, like I've mentioned, character carries the day for me. Number one, virtues and values. Number two, are our core fundamental ideals in congruence? My view and perspective of certain things. For example, in terms of academics and in terms of communication, in terms of social life, do they gel? When your core fundamental ideals gel and are in Congress gelang, these are the things you're very, very able to work through.
Wow. Guys, you're still live from Miale. It doesn't get deeper than this. This is just not any other kind of interview. This is that interview. You at least walk out with something. You get to learn a lot because this is a woman of character, a woman who speaks and say it the way it is. That's why we call this show, it is either black or white. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you guys talking about work. I don't know if you've already downloaded the Ajira app. I don't know if you have already downloaded the Ajira app. Ajira app is this app that gives you a chance to peruse and get to know a few job opportunities that are out here. So make sure that you go out there, download in your Play Store, download the Ajira app. We have thousands and thousands of jobs. And also you can also place yourself hapo ndani ya Ajira app. You never know. Service safi lazima iende chain. Wanasema namna hiyo. Make sure ume download hiyo app. Usikae tu kwa mawe na kuna kazi ndani ya Ajira app pale. So unajiweka pale, wewe ni plumber, wewe ni electrician, wewe ni house manager, wewe ni houseboy, whatever job. Please watch this video. We'll be right back.
Mbona umekaa hapo kama juala imekunjwa?
Zile masida nimekuwa naso na house girl wangu. Kwa mwezi mmoja nakwambia nimebadilisha watatu. Agnes alikuja na mimba na sikujua. Nyangweso naye alichapa mtoto na nyaunyo. Mayo. Purity naye ameiba pesa yangu. Amebebwa leo na afande.
Hao wasichana unachukua kwa bureau. Ni riski sana. Mimi nimekuwa na house help wangu for 2 years sasa. Ako na certificates, ako na good conduct. Na hatujasumbuana hata siku moja.
Maie, kwani wewe uliwatoa wapi hawa?
Download Ajira Chap kwa simu. Hapo wamejaa wengi kabisa. Na sio watu wa kusumbua, ni watu professional sana.
Ajira Chap for employers and employees is free for a limited period. Download and hire or get hired instantly from house girls, waiters, drivers and many more. Ajira Chap ndio headquarters ya wafanyikazi professional.
Yes, that is Ajira app for you. Go out there, download na upate kazi. Ajira Chap. Kazi kwetu, secure for all. Download it now. Hire professional workers, house helps, drivers, waiters, and many, many more. You told me that you don't accept gifts from 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 men and this. But I would like to extend a holiday for you.
I've not said that I do not accept gifts.
Can I extend an holiday offer for you? Maybe
Absolutely.
so that maybe you can also have a chance to go and tembea Kenya kidogo.
Yes.
Where would you want to go to?
The coast.
The coast.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Tripigo Tours, a company that is a tours and travel company, extended a holiday for you at a time of your choice. They have amazing deals out there. Please follow Tripigo Tours on their social media pages. See every single deals that we have under Tripigo Tours. Mombasa, Masai Mara, everywhere. Like Baobab Beach, they're talking about 22,000. Pay for 3 nights, stay for 4 nights. Sunset Charlie, amazing place that you'd like to go. Then we have the weekend getaways. The weekends are here. Nairobi can get boring sometimes. Naivasha, Nanyuki, Nakuru, Kisumu is also opening up. Diani Sea Lodge, pay 3 nights, stay for 4 for only 21,000 Kenya shillings. So maybe you'll tell me where you'd like to go. To Mombasa, which hotel?
Probably the choices that they have. I'm not very conversant with what they have to offer. Yeah.
No, anything that you'd want. This is a holiday that I'm extending to you, so that you say that the only man who has ever taken me for holiday is Jalas.
Nice.
It will go to books that this woman who do not accept things from men. But you'll check what we have. I'll share with you. But at a time of your convenience, any weekend that you have time, please pack up your bikini. Show up. Send a few pictures there. Disturb the internet.
Correct.
Koti yako 2 3 inakaya makanga hii kila saa kila pahali tu, maruni yako inakaya something in Aoko. One day show up at the beach. Disturb the internet. Kwani you don't have a bikini? Do you have one? Do you have a bikini?
I don't.
Aye. You don't have a bikini?
I'll get one.
Oh my God. Please, if you're a shop that sells bikini, I'm buying 2 for you. What is your size?
Oh, goodness.
Whatever size you are, I'll make sure that I get you 2 bikinis. Please, at least disturb the internet once. Out of your realm and everything that you talk about and your jargons. Just lay one day. Oh, will you die?
I know, I'll not die.
You won't die. So I'm buying her 2 bikinis and also taking her to Mombasa. And with your boyfriend, of course. It will be for 2. So if you guys decide, let me know. You have my number. You can always reach out.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an amazing one with the beautiful Aoko here, calling it the way it is. But then definitely, she also one day spoke about young men taking loans to treat you. Bas, kama leo Friday, na unashangaa pesa itatoka wapi nipeleke msichana out. Zenka. Zenka gives you over 60 days to repay your loan and a chance for you to also top up your loan kama bado haujafika limit yako. And Zenka also gives you the biggest chance to also apart from extending your loan, it is 0% interest on your first loan. On your first loan is 0%. Vuta mabeshte is what you're seeing there. Invite. Use the promo code Jalas on your Zenka. Promo code Jalas. And the person who invites the most friend, like I always do, I will be sending the 10,000 Kenya shillings your way. Make sure that you invite your friends. So, dressed really well here. Definitely, this is from Divine Collections. I want to thank them so much for making sure. What do you think for a Friday look?
You look stunning.
This is stunning.
Yes.
Could you give me 3 or 4 other adjectives to describe how I'm looking? Apart from the fact that I'm divine. You'd call this what? French would call it chic.
I think you have fine sartorial taste.
Is this me being described? So this vocabularies that you use, is it because you read most often and get to know, and How do you get yourself to this point where you
Yeah,
can,
when I
you
was
can explain a
introducing-
hard word with a hard word?
When I was introducing myself, I said that I am fascinated by books and knowledge. Yeah, so I do a lot of reading. Yes.
Wow. So do you allow me, so that most of the time we could be having this conversation more and more, maybe a chance for you to also, if you have anything that you would want to pass out there for young girls, you'd come here and record you and send it out, even on my YouTube channel or wherever.
That will be an honor.
Thank you so much. On this camera, what will be your last takes to number one, your haters?
There's this man, a philosopher. He was called Emerson Waldo, who said, "Let me never be a victim of the vulgar imagination that I am being persecuted when I'm being contradicted." So yes, I do understand that there are positive critics out there, but then those are the critics that I'll listen to. To the haters, you are inconsequential non-entities. Keep doing your thing. It's just like fire to me. It keeps me verve and oomph. So power to you. Keep doing your thing. To the young women, life and your future is a sum total. It's like a legacy. It's a sum total of your journey. So focus on hard work. Nobody owes you anything. Men do not owe you anything. Life do not owe you anything. And it's sad that you feel you're being owed something when you do not owe the world even common decency. So work hard, use your intellectual acumen, your acuity, your insight, your logic to propel yourself in life. That way you're able to slay the monster that you call chauvinism and patriarchy and all that. But being, proponents of feminism, it's counterproductive. It's not sorting you. It's not helping you. It's hurting your relationship with men, and it has not helped you so far. So just eschew being an average woman, eschew being a woman who only vaunts her sex appeal, and know that as a woman you're worth so much more. You are capable. You have the wherewithal to be and do more. God bless you.
And like my mother always say, you cannot pickpocket a naked man. This is Jalango TV, and that was Bonga na Jalas. Definitely, you asked for the beautiful Aoko here. She has vented, she has related it, she has hobunctuated it, she has... Let's go eat. Let's go for lunch again. It's too much.